Okay, in problem number 9, here we're looking at measure of angle MRN is equal to 45 minus 3x degrees, and the measure of NRP is equal to 8x minus 10 degrees. So if we let this color represent a measure of angle MRN, so we're looking at this angle right here, and then we let green represent this angle right here, measure of angle NRP. NRP is this angle. Okay, we know that the measure of those two angles together are equal to 90 degrees because they're complementary angles, looking at the illustration. So we simply go like this. We say that the measure of MRN, the measure of angle MRN, plus the measure of angle NRP are equal to 90 degrees. Now we simply replace the measure of angle MRN with 45 minus 3x degrees plus 8x minus 10 degrees equals 90 degrees. There's no numbers in front of either of those sets of parentheses. Therefore, we can take the parentheses away, and now we have... Okay, so because there are no numbers in front of the parentheses, we can take the parentheses away because we're not going to use distributive property. So this just simply becomes 45 minus 3x plus 8x minus 10 equals 90. All right? So let's combine our like terms. So we have negative 3x and an 8x. Negative 3x plus 8x is 5x. 45 and negative 10 is positive 35 equals 90. So at this point we're going to subtract 35 from both sides of the equation. That's addition property of equality. What you do to one side of the equation, you do to the other. So that's like adding negative 35 to both sides. So we're left here with 5x is equal to 55. And now we're going to use multiplication property of equality. So we're going to be dividing or multiplying both sides of the equation by 1/5 is the same as dividing by 5. So we're going to go 5x divided by 5 is equal to 55 divided by 5. And our answer is going to be x is equal to 11. Now it's important to understand that this is not the answer. This simply gives us the value of x. Now we have to take that number and replace x in each of the expressions to find out what those angles are. So if for instance I go 45 minus 3x is the same as 45 minus 3 times 11. So that's going to be 45 minus 33, which is going to give me 5 minus 3 is 2, 4 minus 3 is 1. So that means that the measure of angle MRN, measure of angle MRN is equal to 12 degrees. Likewise, I can go 8x minus 10. 8x minus 10. So again, replacing x with 11, going 8 times the quantity 11 minus 10, which of course is 88 minus 10, which is 78 degrees. And that's going to be equal to the measure of angle NRP. An alternate way of finding NRP would simply be to take 90 and subtract 12 from it. 10 minus 2 is 8. 8 minus 1 is 7. That would be an alternate way of finding the measure of NRP. Okay, in problem number 10, here we have ray HJ is perpendicular to ray HG, and that the measure of angle JHF, so we'll color that red, JHF, so this angle right here, is equal to 60 degrees. Okay, and they want us to find measure of angle FHG. So they want us to find this angle right here. Well, the fact that those two rays are perpendicular, means they form a right angle. All right, and so we're going to use the definition of complementary angles in order to find that missing angle. And you can probably do this just about in your head. So you know that if I go 90 minus 60, that's going to give me the measure of angle FHG, and therefore 90 minus 60 is 30. So the 30 degrees is the measure of angle FHG. Okay, and in problem number 11, it states that the measure of angle 2 is 5 times as large as the measure of angle 1. Okay, so that being the case, we know that if I multiply the measure of angle 1 by 5, that it should be the same measure as angle 2. So if I let angle 2 be x, and what else do we know? We know that angle 1 plus angle 2, the measure of angle 1 plus the measure of angle 2, is equal to 180 degrees. So if I go, let's do a substitution. So I'm going to go measure of angle 1 plus 5 times the measure of angle 1 equals 180 degrees. Okay? So all I did was I substituted what angle 2 was in terms of angle 1 into the equation. So now I have 6 times the measure of angle 1 equals 180. And if I divide both sides of the equation by 6, I get the measure of angle 1 is equal to 30 degrees. So this angle 1 then is going to be 30 degrees. And this is going to be 5 times as big, so 5 times 30 is 150 degrees. Okay, so those are the measure of the two angles.